Yo, what's going on? Deltanian here, and as you saw by the thumbnail title, what's on the screen right now, we're going to be using Gyarados, wrong button, and I made only one deck for Gyarados because I'm not really comfortable with Gyarados. I don't really know what I want from it. I don't know what I want team-wise from it. I think you want Vaporeon, but Vaporeon is kind of hard to get going, especially if you get it late, so it can make Gyarados very awkward to set up, but on this team, it's kind of trying to stuff in everything. We got one copy of Eevee, two copies of Vaporeon, two Gyarados, two Magikarp, two Starmie, two Staryus, one X-Speed, two Pokeballs, two Professor Research, two of the Misties, one Leaf, and I have Giovanni in there because Gyarados being able to one-shot Mewtwo is actually a pretty big deal, especially if you get Misty and you get the energy very quickly. You can destroy Mewtwo before it even gets to really set up anything. Obviously, you can't use Misty and Geo on the same turn, but like, if you got a lucky Misty on the Starmie, you have 4 energy, and then you get Vaporeon, you can move the energy. Giovanni could be very clutch, so I included it in the deck. That's really the game plan of the deck. You just have Staryu slash Starmie EX do damage up front. They can attack if you're going second each turn, and do some pretty good damage. And Starmie plus Staryu, if you're going second, can KO Pikachu with Giovanni, which I think is pretty important, which is why Giovanni's also in the deck. And there's just some Pokemon that extra 10 damage will help with the KO. Obviously, Gyarados can already one-shot Celebi and Pikachu, and a lot of other EXs, so that's what makes it pretty good. Its effect on its attack doesn't actually really mean anything, the deleting 1 energy randomly from the board. It can hurt you sometimes, but really it won't matter most of the time. But the main thing about Gyarados is it does a lot of damage and has really good HP. It doesn't die to Pikachu in one shot. It doesn't die to a lot of things in one shot. It can eat 3 heads from a Zapdos. 4 heads obviously will KO it, but 3 heads is 170, so it will live versus Zapdos with 3 heads. Same with Celebi, which makes it a very strong option, honestly. That HP pool is very good. But enough of me talking about the team. Let's actually try it out. Alright, now it's time to put Gyarados to the test. Let's see how things go. Going second is good if we start with Starmie. We don't, but Eevee is not a bad start either. Eevee can honestly swing games if you get really lucky. Okay, there's Zapdos. A little bit scary. But if we start with the Starmie here, I guess we switch it in. I don't know. 130 HP is a little bit annoying because we can't KO it. So maybe that inclines me to just attack with Eevee. I could get some pretty big damage. And if I pull a Vaporeon, putting the energy on it won't be too big of a commitment. I won't put this effect on it, these little dots, because that's how many heads I'm going to get with it. Okay. We can pull Staryu here and we'll see what we do. Okay. Do I go for the damage and greed? Or do I set up Starmie, which is the smart play? You know what? We gamble today. Water deck is a gambling deck in general. There's 20. And there's 20. Okay. But you know, things could happen. You never know. Let's see what happens here. We have 1 XP just so we could get Eevee out the active slot if it ever gets stuck. Magikarp doesn't have that problem because we could just leap out. Which is why we only have 1 XP. We have Leaf in the deck in case Gyarados takes a lot of damage and we need to retreat it. There's Pikachu. They might honestly set up their Pikachu here. Yeah, they do. That's kind of annoying. They have regular Raichu. Well, OG Raichu. That's scary. We have Gyarados. I guess we build up Gyarados, right? Because Starmie is not going to really do anything for us here. And honestly, we're just going to take continuous steps here. Okay, that's all our bad luck on, so we're going to pull Misty next turn, and we're going to get like 5 heads in a row. And it's gonna be too much energy, but it's gonna be good. Let's see what happens here. Do they have X speed and everything? I would assume so. They have a lot of cards in their hand. They got 5 cards. I assume they're just gonna switch in Pikachu and destroy my Eevee here. 2 Crown Rare Pikachus is insane, by the way. There's the X speed, obviously. But I wasn't really worried about Eevee. No Vaporeon, no problem. We have Misty. I guess the correct play is to switch in Starmie for sure, though, for a tank. I probably should have saved that Eevee, but I wasn't sure what to do, honestly. We're not really drawing too well here. But now we have 2 dead cards in our draw, which also wasn't good for us. There's Leaf, which we don't need at all. We're gonna need to pull a Misty game, please. They can't do anything here, really. We just need Misty and we need 1 heads, and I think we win the game. Because we could one-shot everything on their team. So it really just comes down to that, right? I feel like Gyarados actually does pretty good into Pikachu, all things considered. Which is funny because this is a water deck. There's Misty. All we need is 1 head's Misty, please. Please show us the 1 head. Thank you, Misty. And we got exactly that. Okay. But now we just switch in. We're going to be able to one-shot. They can send in whatever they want. They're not going to be able to do enough damage. Obviously, Raichu could not one-shot me either. And they won't even have it. And we delete our own energy. Which means Pikachu can attack us, but it's not going to matter. And then we one-shot it. Obviously, a Sabrina will lose us the game here, but we did all that we could, right? Let's just see how things go. Is there a Sabrina in play? There's Zapdos. Where's the Sabrina? No Sabrina. Okay, we get a clutch win with Gyarados. That's what I like to see, Gary. And we're not going to stall it. We're just going to hit the attack. Alright, nice one, Gyarados. And we lose energy from ourselves. Why is that? Why is that, Gyarados? You can't take it away from the Pikachu? Yeah, let's hop in again. Alright, that is the strength of Gyarados, the HP pool, honestly. Even without having our Vaporeon there, we were still able to do some pretty good stuff. Who do we lead with here? Well, they can attack right away, so obviously Staryu. And they're running fire, so I'm assuming they got Moltres, or this is a Blaine. It's a Blaine. That's weird that they're running Blaine and they start with Vulpix. That's definitely a decision that they made. I feel like in that situation, you definitely want to lead with Ponyta and get your potential damage. We're going to research. There's Gyarados. We have Gyarados already, so I actually don't mind just setting up the Magikarps. They can't do 50 damage unless they XP Giovanni and flip heads. And they're actually just going for Tail Whip, which is fine. We already have a pretty optimal lineup. It doesn't matter where we put our energy right now. And they get Tails, so we might as well do our 40. Well, should we? They could pop a 9 Tails. I think we shouldn't then. We're just gonna hold the energy on Vaporeon for now. Or do we? Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I mean, we could get decent damage here, but I don't think it's worth the energy. Getting Gyarados built up would obviously kind of win us the game. And I didn't evolve there because I don't want to get stuck in with one of the Gyaradoses, honestly. Let's see, what do they do here? Do they have 9 cells? They don't, because they put the energy in the back. So if we get Starmie, we can actually do some solid damage here. We have pretty good chance. We have 2 Starmies in the deck and 2 of the Professor Research. No, we only have 1 left. So 3 out of like 10. Not bad. I think if we evolve, we ignore that effect. We didn't get it, but it's fine, I think. Because we could just retreat depending on how this Sabrina treats us. Let's see. We get no heads. Okay. We'll just continue to build up Gyarados then. Staryu, it's looking like you're going to be a sacrificial lamb. And obviously, Ninetales can only do 120 maximum, so my Gyarados is safe. And I believe the Rapidash can only do 130. So no matter what happens, we're kind of in a safe position here. There goes the Ninetales. Getting one Misty Flip would have been pretty clutch, because we would have been able to attack this turn, but you know, Misty is Misty. So, you know, you gotta keep that in mind sometimes. We're gonna switch Gyarados in. It is kind of a risk. Maybe it was a bad play. I'm not sure what the right play was there. There's a Staryu. We're gonna evolve this Gyarados just to have it. But I feel like I probably should have put out the Magikarp, huh? Because I don't want to take all that damage. Then they could just revenge KO me next turn. But it's not worth wasting an energy. Is it? For my mistake? No. We'll just have to hope they don't have Blaine, I guess. But even if they don't, they two-shot me. This is an interesting dilemma. Interesting. Well, I guess we could be fine, even if they have Blaine. Because Rapidash only does 40 damage unless they flip heads. Depending on which Rapidash it is, obviously. And depending on if they don't have two Blaines. I do definitely think that I kind of threw, though. I don't know. I think I put Gyarados out there too prematurely. But my opponent is thinking, so maybe I was on the ball. Looks like they might not have Blaine, and then if they don't, we're in a pretty solid position. Because we'll have 90 HP, we could live unless Rapidash gets heads. Which is a big if, right? Even with Blaine, we would live with the tails. I wonder why they're not doing anything here. They're actually still in a pretty solid position, I would say. I mean, if they don't put that energy down, we for sure win. There's no way to lose if they don't attack here. Okay, we take those. We for sure take those. I don't know why my opponent did what they did, but I'm not going to complain about it. Here goes the Gyarados. We're going to Whirlpool. Maybe take the energy from Ponyta and not Gyarados. And we do take it from Gyarados, because of course we do. I have a feeling my opponent won't be clicking anything here, so I'm just going to talk about what I think about Gyarados. I think the main thing you're thinking about when you look at this card is that HP pool. 180 HP for a stage 1 is pretty insane. Obviously, you do have to deal with Magikarp only having 30 HP, so that means it basically cannot take an attack, unless it's something like a Mew 20 damage attack, which is, it's actually pretty common. You can't take Zapdos' 20 attack, but you can take the 20 from Mew, both Mews, the EX and the non-EX. Staryu does 20 damage. There's a couple Pokemon that did 20. But yeah, we won. Gyarados showed off. Let's hop into one last match. Alright, final matchup here. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3 Gyarados. Going second is nice, especially if we have Staryu to start, which we do. We actually have all of our Pokemon to start, and we can evolve Gyarados immediately. If we get Starmie, we're looking pretty good. And we're going versus Psychic, which they only lead routes, which is interesting. Let's see what they end up getting here. Psychic was made a lot more consistent with the addition of Mythical Slab and Sigilyph. There's just a lot of Psychic cards that were added. There's Mew. They have the special art Mew as well. What is this gonna be? Another Magikarp. I'm not sure I need that. There's Professor's Research. We get Starmie. This is perfect. And there's Staryu. I think I wanted Staryu on the bench. It's pretty nice to have. If we get double Starmie, we could just switch between them and transfer the energy and do all types of crazy stuff here. Zero retreat cost, obviously. There's Mewtwo. They do have to switch or they will get KO'd. They would probably switch into Mew because they can just Budding Expeditioner it. But they actually do Mewtwo, weirdly enough. And there's Curlia, so they're on pretty good curve. But we're also having pretty good luck of our own. There's the Starmie. Here's our Gyarados. Vaporeon would be nice. But we two-shot Mewtwo, so they're gonna have to make some decisions here. They're gonna need a Leaf to retreat, or they're gonna just have to sacrifice Mewtwo. Let's see what they do. Okay, they could also have an X-Speed, I guess. I didn't consider that. Double Potion also would save them. But right now, it's not looking like they have either. Yeah, we just win. Alright, pretty short video, but we saw the strength of Gyarados here, so I'm pretty happy with how things turned out. Gyarados was able to dominate, Starmie showed why it's on the team. Vaporeon didn't really get to flex, but we kind of just had bad situations for Vaporeon. Eevee died this first game. Second game, we just had to rely on Gyarados anyways because we didn't get Starmie. And third game, Starmie just carried, so, you know, I'm pretty happy with how things went. Let me know what you think of Gyarados, and if you made it to the end, consider subscribing. And with that being said, this is Delta Neon out. Peace.